Hello everyone, Weather Jamaica here. Welcome to this updated video on the weather across Jamaica and the rest of the Caribbean. It is Sunday evening, August 17, 2025. Now before we jump into it, please ensure that you all like this video. I'd really appreciate it if you all get this video up to 100 likes. If you don't know by now, that's how the YouTube algorithm works. We all like the video and then the YouTube algorithm pushes the video out to more persons who are in the path of these tropical systems so that we can keep everyone safe, especially during the peak months of Atlantic hurricane season. That's August through to October. Share this video with your friends, your co-workers, your relatives, and even your church brethren, and subscribe if you haven't yet done so. Please ensure that you all utilize the progress bar that's located at the bottom of the video, as well as the timestamps that are located not only in the comment section but the video description, so that you can skip to the points in the video that you want to see the most in order to save time, because we know that the videos over here with the Jamaica can be very long. Leave a comment down below letting me know what the dice be like in your area recently. Also, feel free to ask any weather related question that you might have about the future of the weather in your specific area. Alright, so we need to highlight these posts that are recognizing the anniversary for two systems. First, it's Hurricane Charlie, the 51 storm. It states here, today in hurricane history, 74 years ago, on August 17, 1951, Hurricane Charlie hit Jamaica as a powerful Category 3, bringing strong winds and torrential rainfall, causing 152 fatalities and racking up $50 million in damages in Jamaica. Have you ever heard of this hurricane? And it was posted on our social media platform, and we definitely got some responses. We had Nudges stating Hurricane Charlie proved that Jamaicans have been weathering storms long before partner circles. We have WB stating my grandmother told me about it. We have Lang G stating this was my grandma's hurricane. Gilbert, even on our Instagram page, we had Dems_DC stating my mother always told me how my grandparents spoke about 51 storm, and I've heard my grand auntie, 95 years old, mention it, who was born in 51 and whatnot. And we even highlighted this storm as well. It states here 4 years ago on August 17, 2021, Tropical Storm Grace made landfall in Jamaica, leaving people at work, stranded, and causing inundation, while racking up $30 million in damages. Do you remember this hurricane? And we definitely had some people who remember the hurricane for sure. We have Ms_Griffiths here confirming this was during COVID. I remember. We have Portmore Bell_Nas sitting. I remember she mashed up my umbrella. Then them did expect me to come work the next day. And we even have Twizzly stating, I remember this. They let us out about 2 p.m. when they realized the storm serious. Nobody took it serious before. I couldn't reach a yard. To how far I walked to get a bus, and me not sure how me never broke out in a sores or walk in a dirty water. That's why you must always have Dettol. Well, we can see that August 17 is quite the busy day in terms of tropical cyclone activity. If you'd like to see these videos, the 51 storm, just visit our social media platform. Or, well, Tropical Storm Grace that made landfall across Jamaica. Just visit our social media platform for sure if you're here on YouTube and you're not really seeing that post. Alright. Taking a look at the U.S. National Hurricane Center 7-day graphical tropical weather outlook that just came out at 7:50 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, which is actually 6:50 p.m. Jamaica time. We can say we still have that area across the main development region that now has a 40% chance of cyclone formation within the next 7 days. So it was a code yellow. It's no longer a code yellow, it's a code orange now, so the chances have increased. And we still have Hurricane Erin right here to the north of Hispaniola. And if we look at the infrared satellite imagery right here, we can make out all of the entities. The clouds associated with Erin right here, still quite the large and formidable hurricane. And we can see the clouds associated with that other area that should become our next name system as it pushes off towards the west and northwest. And if we take a look at the details regarding this code orange, let's just read. We don't find most weather people on YouTube reading at all, but this information from the Hurricane Center is very crucial. It states here, a tropical wave located near the Cabo Verde Islands is producing disorganized showers and thunderstorms. Some gradual development of the system is possible during the latter half of this week, and a tropical depression could form late this week or next weekend, while the system moves westward to west-northwestward at 15 to 20 miles per hour, approaching the northeastern Caribbean Sea or southwestern Atlantic. And we see that they've given the area a 0% chance of cyclone formation within the next 48 hours and a 40% chance of cyclone formation within the next 7 days. And if we look at the supercomputer model runs, they've definitely changed somewhat. This is valid for 6Z on Saturday, August 23, which is actually 1 a.m. on Saturday. We can actually see where the system should be located according to the Euro model right here. We see the moisture in the greens, yellows, oranges, reds, and the area of low pressure in the L. But the GFS is more so to the southwest of where the Euro has it, right here to the south of Puerto Rico. And the GFS has been changing over time. This morning, the GFS was showing that the system might have made it up into the Jamaica area. Yesterday, it was showing that the system might make it into Haiti. Well, let us look what this evening's GFS is showing. Well, first of all, the Euro. This is valid for 12Z now on Sunday, next Sunday. So 7 a.m. on Sunday. This is where the possible system should be located according to the Euro model, to the north of Puerto Rico, basically following the footsteps of Erin. While the GFS is still showing that the system might have crossed over into Hispaniola. There it is, right there between Haiti, into portions of water between Haiti and Cuba. Very interesting. And these forecasts aren't set in stone at all. We see the difference, and we know that when we have differences like these, the Euro over here, the GFS over here, they're not really sure of what exactly is going to happen. So we definitely have to stay updated. We know that the Euro is usually more accurate when it comes to tropical cyclogenesis, something forming. But we'll see how it actually plays out in terms of which direction the system actually goes. We have to work with what both models are showing, and we have to stay updated for sure. And we know that if something should form, the next name on the list is Fernand. Alright, so regarding what's happening with Hurricane Erin, I mean, look at this huge system. All of these high cloud tops fanning out, the classic buzzsaw shape to the hurricane in general. This is a formidable hurricane for sure. This is what hurricanes look like. This is what I usually see across the Western Pacific, and I'm wondering if the Atlantic is just so anemic that it can produce systems like this. But there we go. Another formidable system. We had Beryl category 5 down here last year. We had Milton category 5 over here last year as well, and now we have Erin, quite formidable, definitely lashing in portions of Puerto Rico and Hispaniola as we speak, with a lot of shower and thunderstorm activity. As of right now, the Euro Ensemble Spaghetti model still in consensus that the system should be continuing to push off towards the northwest. The GFS, something similar right here in terms of the intensity. We see right here that it is expected to maintain category 3 status right in here, maybe even make it back up to category 4 before after the 3-day time period, when it starts to dwindle down category 2, category 1 tropical storm status for sure. And as such, we have the latest update here from the US National Hurricane Center explaining what should happen. As of right now, the system is packing maximum sustained winds of 125 miles per hour, so that makes it a category 3 hurricane. It is moving off towards the west-northwest right now at 13 miles per hour. We see that we have tropical storm warnings in the blue up for portions of the Turks and Caicos and the southeastern Bahamas. So they're definitely going to be getting on some tropical storm conditions, strong winds, tropical storm force winds at that, even some heavy rainfall for sure. We see how far the tropical storm force winds in the gold extend, and the hurricane force winds in the bronze, definitely closer to the center of circulation. We see that it's expected to push out towards the northwest, maintaining major hurricane status category 3 to 5, then push out towards the northeast right here, definitely threading the needle between the United States and Bermuda right there. And we see that it's expected to become a hurricane, so low, not major hurricane, but back to maybe category 1, category 2 by Thursday afternoon into Friday. and we see the path that it has already taken. It was expected to take more of a west-northwest track, not even come so close, but we saw that it definitely made a turn more to the west and came a bit too close for comfort to the Leeward Islands, and now it's right here, definitely dealing with the northern portion of the island. I heard that there are a lot of power outages in Puerto Rico. They definitely got it bad. We see the tropical storm force winds extending out. The probabilities definitely high for especially the southeastern Bahamas and the Turks and Caicos, so they should be ready for that. Even the rainfall that's expected, look at all of the light greens, 1 to 2 inches or 25 to 50 millimeters of rainfall still expected for portion of Hispaniola, Puerto Rico. The greens, that's the 2 to 4 inches or 50 to 100 millimeters of rainfall expected for Puerto Rico, as well as portion of the northern Dominican Republic into the Turks and Caicos, southeastern Bahamas. But clearly the brunt of the rainfall should be out to sea. We see anywhere from the 2 to 4 all the way up to 4 to 6, 6 to 8, 8 to 12, 12 to 16, and even 16 to 20 inches of rainfall out to sea. But that's only going to be affecting the ships at sea. Doubt there are any ships out there at this time, if not the fishes at sea. And we even have footage right here from Weather Monitor on Twitter. If you haven't been following that page, you need to fix that. They've stated Orocovis, Puerto Rico is currently experiencing strong winds, fog, and heavy rain from Hurricane Erin. Experts warn the storm may cause rip current along the U.S. southeast coast after impacting Puerto Rico. And we see the video footage right here. I mean, look at the heavy rain and wind. It makes sense that we've gotten a lot of power outages report coming out of that island. Taking a look at the surface map of the Atlantic for this evening, we can see that we have a tropical wave right here to the west of Jamaica. We can see that we have Hurricane Erin right here. We can see that we have a tropical wave right here just to the northeast of South America. We can see that we have another tropical wave right here across the Cabo Verde Islands. All of these entities, as usual, being steered from east to west, all courtesy of the ridge of high pressure to the north. And if we take a look at the visible satellite images of the Atlantic before we lost sunlight, we can make out some of these entities. Apparently there's a tropical wave to the west of us, not really seeing the moisture associated with that. But look at Hurricane Erin, such a huge hurricane. We see the outflow associated with it, classic buzzsaw shape, textbook hurricane kind of look for sure. And we see the eye kind of coming out right there at the end of the image. Who knows, maybe it might be intensifying as we speak. There's supposedly another tropical wave right here just to the northeast of South America, and another tropical wave right here across portion of the Cabo Verde Islands. But we can see a lot of moisture associated with the monsoon trough intertwined with the intertropical convergence zone right here, definitely setting the stage with what's to come regarding the next system that the Hurricane Center gives a medium chance of development within the next 7 days. We'll be talking more about the rest of the Caribbean today later on. Let us focus our attention on the prediction that was made in yesterday's video about the weather across Jamaica for today, Sunday, August 17, 2025. It was stated that some isolated rainfall could have been in the forecast for parts of some eastern, central, and western parishes. We know eastern parishes, we're talking about those parishes in the county of Surrey. Central parishes, and we're talking about those parishes in the county of Middlesex. Or western parishes, and we're talking about those parishes in the county of Cornwall. But instead, we had rainfall more so across sections of some southern parishes. You know, southern parishes, we're talking about Westmoreland, St. Elizabeth, Manchester, Clarendon, St. Catherine, Kingston, St. Andrew, and St. Thomas. Because the visible satellite images were posted right here on our Twitter page over the Jamaica, as well as on our Instagram page over the Jamaica, on our TikTok page over the Jamaica, and on our Facebook page over the Jamaica 876. So if you have one of those social media platforms, please ensure that you follow us there as we make posts throughout the day that you can't afford to miss. So this post in the afternoon at around 3:55 p.m. confirmed that rainfall, yes, it was across eastern, central, and western parishes, but more so the southern parishes. That's where we saw the clouds building up, and then we had the isolated thunderstorm activity. All of these sparkling yellow dots we know represent some amount of lightning strikes, if not lightning flashes. So we definitely had that across sections of St. Elizabeth, Manchester, sections of Clarendon as well. All of this pushing off towards the southwest. We saw the flow from the north, as you can see here, all of the air piling up. Trust me, all of this flow that we're getting is all courtesy of Hurricane Erin's location from us. Usually we're getting an easterly flow because of the ridge of high pressure sending everything from central to the western end. So Ryan, you're not getting rainfall this afternoon at all. This is a different kind of weather pattern. We're grateful for it on the south coast. These parishes need the rainfall right now. And I'm sure that the people down there are very grateful. As you can see, even the upper level clouds are being sheared off towards the northwest by that upper level wind shear, just as we stated it would in yesterday's video. And if we take a look at the visible satellite images of Jamaica before we lost sunlight, we can make out all of what took place. Look at the clouds pushing from northeast or north-northeast to south-southwest. Definitely bring more of the overcast skies, if not isolated shores, a section of especially southwestern parishes. The infrared confirming the thunderstorms. I mean, look at the blues, greens, yellows, oranges, and reds. That represents the cumulonimbus cloud cover. All of these clouds being sheared off towards the northwest by that upper level wind shear. All of the thunderstorms, especially across sections of St. Elizabeth. And we definitely have confirmation regarding what the weather was like in halfway through. We see it was definitely fair for the most part. Nothing in the way of bad weather taking place over this side. It was isolated rainfall that was predicted, not widespread. Definitely fair for the most part. This was at around 3:29 p.m. People walking about, going about their business, people in their vehicles going about their business. And I would like for you to keep in mind that if you'd like to see more live streams like this, just visit See Jamaica on YouTube. They have these live streams all for you all to view for free. So subscribe today so that you don't miss out. And we have just that bit of comment right here to confirm what the weather is like in some of our followers' areas. We have Portmore, Belanda, Swear, stating Portmore scorching hot. And we have Javan Pantan stating Spanish Town sunny. And we even had one comment here from Jackie stating it's happening now, confirming the rainfall across second of the south. I wonder what parish Jackie is located in. Alright, so let us reload the very latest still image from the Weather Nerds website, the latest Jamaican Doppler radar imagery, the latest Cuban Doppler radar imagery, the latest Guantanamo Bay US Navy radar, and the latest Cayman radar to confirm what's happening across Jamaica right now. Alright, so the latest still image from the Weather Nerds website is showing 0125 UTC, which is actually 8:25 p.m. So this just came out 9 minutes ago, considering that it is 8:34 p.m. right now. And as you can see, the entire island cleared out for the most part. Just some high cirrus clouds pushing in from the southwest, well, from the southeast to the northwest. The Jamaican Doppler radar, on the other hand, it confirms some of that rainfall that was lashing portions of southwestern Jamaica today. It's showing 2029 UTC. I believe that stands for 329. I'm pretty sure that's it. And that was what was taking place. Some heavy rainfall across second of St. Elizabeth in the greens, in the yellows, oranges, reds, even portions of Clarendon and Manchester getting on some of the action as well at that time. But Doppler radar looks like it glitched out. We don't see it showing anything after the 2029 UTC time frame. The Cuban Doppler radar looks like it also glitched out as well today at around 1:10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Is actually 12:10 p.m. Jamaica time. At that time, nothing was taking place. But the Guantanamo Bay US Navy radar right now, look at what we're seeing. We're seeing some actual rainfall pushing into northern portion of Haiti, coming in from north to south, associated with the outer bands from Erin, I'm sure. Not really seeing much of anything across southeastern Cuba or northeastern Jamaica at this time, though. The Cayman radar is showing some rain bands right here just to the south of central Cuba, some rain bands right here to the west of the Cayman Islands, but that's basically it. Don't see much of anything across the Cayman Islands or western Jamaica at this time. The live camera here from See Jamaica's YouTube channel confirming that at 8:36 p.m. nothing is taking place around the Bogwalk Gorge. Rear Cobra chilling right now. You can see people driving about, going about their business. Nothing in the way of bad weather is going to be taking place at all. Taking a look at the temperatures right now, well, where they should be, I'm sure. By 1 a.m., 25 degrees Celsius in both Montego Bay and Kingston. By 4 a.m., well, yeah, by 4 a.m., let's see. Yes, by 4 a.m., about the same 24 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay, 25 degrees Celsius in Kingston. And you notice the direction of the winds. Looks like west, if not southwest. A very interesting day tomorrow, indeed. We'll see. In terms of the temperature forecast, though, for tomorrow, this map from the GFS is valid for 18Z on Monday, which is actually 1 p.m. on Monday. And we can see Jamaica right here embedded in the grays. That we know represents the 0 on the scale for the temperatures. I know the 0 represents average temperatures. I know the average temperature for the month of August across Jamaica is around 91 degrees Fahrenheit. And when that's converted to degrees Celsius that we use here in Jamaica, that's around 32.8 degrees Celsius. So we should be receiving that for Jamaica's temperature on Monday. And regarding what is going to be taking place, we see that there are no maintenance outage advisories here from my JPS Online Twitter page out for August 18. We saw that it was showing August 16, then it jumped to August 19. Nothing expected in terms of an outage or anything across the island for August 18. We're grateful for that. We usually highlight those because we know that when we're power outages somewhere across the island, it can definitely make the heat feel even worse because we don't have our fan or our AC to cool us down. So we're grateful that we don't have any outages tomorrow. But if tomorrow is a bit too hot for you, we still have some tips right here to beat the heat as usual. It states here, dress down, wear lightweight clothing and use sunscreen. Check on others, including children, elderly people with medical conditions and pets. Be cool, stay indoors and make use of fans and air conditioners. Avoid alcohol and caffeine as they can make dehydration worse. Limit non-essential strenuous activity during the hottest parts of the day. And I cannot stress enough the importance of keeping hydrated throughout the day. Drink lots of water even if you're not thirsty, and put away those sugary drinks and drink water instead. Taking a look at the dry air map, you can see that the dry air is definitely dwindling these days. We know that the dry air is represented by what we see here on the key on the bottom, the yellows, the oranges, the reds, and the whites within those rays. And we can see some dry air extending from Africa across portion of the main development region, but the moist air is taking over. We see more moist air in the blues across the intertropical convergence zone, the western main development region, the eastern to the central Caribbean, the Gulf, the southwestern Atlantic, into the waters surrounding Central America. A lot of moist air, and that's what we want. We want more moist air, that we get more gray clouds, that we get more rainfall to keep water in our pipes. But regarding the Saharan dust forecast for the next 3 days, we're heading into August 18, August 19, and August 20. As you can see, for the 3-day time period, Jamaica should be in the clear for the most part, but clearly, right after Erin gets out of here, we have some Saharan dust to get in on. We see all of that represented by the oranges into the pinks, the yellows, pushing in from east to west. So the eastern to the central Caribbean should be getting in on the Saharan dust starting as early as August 19, then August 20, pushing through the central Caribbean, should make it to Jamaica by around August 21. So get your meds ready. We know the Saharan dust can definitely cause hazy skies, not to mention trigger some amount of respiratory illnesses in some persons. Regarding the wave forecast for tomorrow, we see the light shades of blues to dark shades of blues across the Gulf into the western and central to the eastern Caribbean. That represents anywhere from 0.5 for meter wave height all the way up to 1 meter wave height, while the highest waves across the entire Atlantic are where we have Erin. It makes sense that we see the dark blues into the purples, into the pinks, into the burgundies, into the whites, representing anywhere from a meter all the way up to 9 meter wave heights or more. Eric is definitely causing that because of the anti-clockwise flow around its center of circulation with all of those category 3 hurricane winds for sure. So it makes sense that the waves are the highest right here to the east of the Bahamas. They're definitely going to be getting rough seas up there. But regarding Jamaica's wave forecast, to the north of Hanover we have 0.5 for meter wave height, to the north of St. Anne 0.6 for meter wave height, to the north of Portland 0.5 for meter wave height expected tomorrow. South of St. Thomas 0.4 for meter wave height, 0.4 for meter wave height as well to the south of Clarendon, to the south of Westmoreland 0.3 for meter wave height. So very calm winds. And look at the direction the winds are blowing. Usually, this is what we mean when we say Erin is going to be causing some indirect effects. So it's not directly hitting us, but because of Erin's location, Erin is causing this kind of flow. More of a southwesterly flow on the south coast, westerly flow on the west coast. Usually we're getting an east-west flow that would cause all of the air to pile up across central and western parishes, leading to daytime heating and rainfall across especially central and especially western parishes. But look at where the air could pile up tomorrow. It looks like somewhere across the northern to maybe the eastern end, especially the northeastern side. That's where we have the least amount of wind. That's where we could have those low-level clouds becoming mid-level rain clouds, if not upper-level cumulonimbus clouds. And who knows, maybe we could get some rainfall coming in from the sea from the southwest, a nice southwesterly flow with some rain bands pushing into the southern parishes. Who knows, we'll see how tomorrow unfolds. Tomorrow is going to be quite an interesting day in terms of the weather, quite unusual for sure. We're here for it. We'll see. Either way, the upper level winds seem to be coming in from the east tomorrow. So if we actually get some thunderstorms tomorrow, we could see those cloud tops pushing off from east to west. So it's not like today when we had the upper level winds blowing those cloud tops off from southeast to northwest. Tomorrow is going to be more of an east to west kind of flow with the upper level winds if we actually get some thunderstorms. And regarding the actual rainfall forecast for tomorrow, this map from the Euro and this map from the GFS are both valid for 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is actually 10 a.m. Jamaica time. And what do we notice on both maps? On both maps, we actually see some rainfall across sections of maybe the eastern end, maybe St. Thomas into Portland. That's for 10 a.m. Getting in on the blues represent rainfall right in there, especially out to sea. The Euro trying to incorporate portions of southeastern St. Elizabeth, southern Manchester with some of that rainfall. GFS not so much. But it's by afternoon that we actually see the consensus for some rainfall, and we see that rainfall across eastern, central, and western parishes. Very interesting, especially the central and eastern end. And all of this here is going to be pushing from west to east or southwest to northeast. So it's going to be quite a very interesting day tomorrow. I'm going to be looking out there and watching these clouds. It's going to be very, very interesting. It's not the usual rainfall that we're used to. So we're definitely here for it. Even the total accumulated precipitation forecast maps here from the Euro and the GFS are adamant that is going to be raining somewhere in Jamaica within the next 24 hours. The Euro going up to at least 0.3 or more of an inch of rainfall across the central areas. We know we have to put a disclaimer with these totals because it could be more than this, it could be less than this. The GFS going up to at least 0.19 of an inch of rainfall. And whatever happens, we'll definitely take it because we're in the month of August. And in Kingston, whose bar graph is being shown right here at the top, we usually receive close to 100 millimeters of rainfall for the month of August. In Montego Bay, we usually receive close to 5 inches of rainfall for the month of August. And I would like for you to keep in mind that if you'd like to find out what your specific parish usually receives in terms of rainfall for the month of August or for the entire year, you can visit weatherandclimate.com, and that website will show you that information. And you can use this nice graphic right here that converts rainfall from inches to millimeters. We know that 1 inch of rainfall is about the same as 25 millimeters of rainfall. Alright, so we're going to be looking at what the next 7 days have in store for us according to the latest Euro and GFS supercomputer model runs that came out today. So keep your eyes focused on the timestamp right here at the top as we go to the next 168 hours. That stands for the next 7 days. Keep your eyes focused on Jamaica right here as we look for all of this that we see on the key on the right. That's the reds, the oranges, the yellows, and the greens represents inches of rainfall. So let's see what's going to be taking place. So we just looked at Monday's forecast, so it's time for us to look at Tuesday all the way back to next week, Sunday. 12Z on Tuesday stands for 7 a.m. We actually see some rainfall across the southern end of the island. There we have Erin over there. And then we're looking at the afternoon on the Euro. We actually see some isolated rainfall across some central and western parishes. What does the GFS show for the same time period? First of all, Tuesday morning, we see some rain bands to the east of us. Tuesday afternoon, rainfall across eastern, central, and western parishes. Interesting. What do we see for for Wednesday morning? Wednesday morning, we see some rain bands to our south, far south. Then on Wednesday afternoon, look at that. The Euro is showing some crazy rainfall coming into portion of central to eastern Jamaica. What does the GFS show? I doubt that will be the case. Euro, the GFS not showing much of anything for 7 a.m. on Wednesday. And then Wednesday afternoon, look at that. We see some rainfall across eastern, central, and western parishes. Very interesting. Let us see what Thursday morning shows. So we see consensus for Wednesday afternoon. Thursday morning showing some rainfall across some southern and eastern parishes on the Euro. Thursday afternoon, not really much of anything, maybe some isolated shores across the northern and western end. What do we see on the GFS for Thursday morning? Not really much of anything. And then on Thursday afternoon, we see some rainfall across some central and western parishes. We should also note that the Euro is showing that area just to the east of the Lesser Antilles, trying to get its act together. That code orange that the hurricane center has highlighted, the GFS, a bit south of where, and the Euro has it. Interesting. So by Friday, there should be a lot of talk about this system entering the Eastern Caribbean or affecting the Northeastern Caribbean. We'll see. Heading into Friday morning, we see not much of anything for Jamaica. Friday afternoon, what do we see? Some rainfall across sections of some central and western parishes on the Euro. What does the GFS show? Friday morning, nothing. Friday afternoon, what do we see? Some rainfall across some southern parishes, and look at that. The GFS has the system right here to the south of the Leeward Island. The Euro has the system right here just to the northeast of the Leeward Island. So we see that the GFS is a bit faster than the Euro on these runs. Then we're heading into Saturday. On Saturday morning, not really much of anything across Jamaica. Saturday afternoon, maybe some rainfall across some central parishes. And we're going to be stopping it right here at the end of the 168 hours. So this is valid for Sunday, August 24. And we see the era that area, maybe a tropical storm at that time, if not a depression just to the north of Puerto Rico. The GFS, we see for Saturday morning, nothing. Saturday afternoon, not really much of anything during the afternoon for Jamaica, but we're stopping it also at the end of the 168 hours. And we clearly see that the system crosses over Hispaniola, pushes into southeastern Cuba. Very interesting. A lot of moisture down in there, so we see some contrast for sure. And the Euro has the system more so to the northeast of Hispaniola. The GFS has the system crossing over Hispaniola. And we know the GFS is the outlier. The GFS keeps changing things up. Even although yesterday at this time the GFS was showing something similar to this, this morning it was showing something coming into Jamaica. Then we see that it keeps flip-flopping regarding what it's doing. We'll see. We have to work with what both models are showing in consensus, and if they can align, then we know that the chances of something really taking place and making a real track across an area will really happen. And regarding the total accumulated precipitation for the next 7 days, we clearly see that both Euro and the GFS supercomputer models are showing the rain bands. The Euro are definitely showing that rainfall regarding the system intertwined with Erin's moisture just right here to the north of the Caribbean. GFS showing a lot of the moisture associated with that second system pushing into Hispaniola and southeastern Cuba. But we're just going to be working with the moisture that's already really set in stone, like Erin's moisture and the moisture across portions of South America into Central America, because clearly this moisture right here is not really in line with what the Euro was showing. The Euro is showing something over in here, so we're going to disregard this moisture. It isn't set in stone as yet, but clearly there's going to be a lot more rainfall expected to the east of the Bahamas. We see the dark reds into the purples, into the pinks, into the peaches, into the blues. That represents what we see here on the key on the right. That's the 2 all the way up to 12 inches of rainfall, and we see some of that as well, anywhere from 2 all the way up to maybe 3, 4, 5 inches of rainfall for portions of northern South America, Trinidad and Tobago, Venezuela, Colombia, Panama, Costa Rica, Nicaragua, sections of El Salvador, southern Honduras, Guatemala getting on some of that as well. So some of that rainfall could definitely trigger some amount of isolated flash flooding. But regarding Jamaica's rainfall totals for the next 7 days, this map from the Euro and this map from the GFS are both showing all the rainfall as expected from now up until 7 a.m. on Sunday, August 24. And we see the rainfall in the blues and greens extending from the eastern to the western end of the island, up to 34 millimeters of rainfall right here on the north coast expected according to the Euro. The GFS a bit less regarding the rainfall. The blues into the greens, yes, that's a millimeter all the way to maybe 25 millimeters of rainfall. We see a lot of that moisture to the east associated with that system that should be here according to the GFS, and you notice we don't see that on the Euro, just to show that we have some differences of modeling. We'll see how this actually plays out, and whatever happens, I'll definitely be here to keep you posted with what occurs. Alright, so that's it for the forecast across Jamaica. Let us focus our attention on the rest of the Caribbean. So as stated, we still have the clouds associated with Erin right here to the north of Hispaniola. Lots of outer bands still bring some rainfall to portion of the US and British Virgin Islands, Puerto Rico, Haiti, the Dominican Republic as we speak, southeastern portion of the Bahamas into the Turks and Caicos, getting on the bad weather as we speak. And if we take a look at the Doppler radar imagery, let us see what's happening right over here right now. What do we see in and around Puerto Rico? And we're going to be loading these images from earlier today as well, because we want to see all of the moisture that they've been getting in on. As of right now, we can see some moisture right here to the north of Hispaniola. But loading these images from earlier today, I mean, look at the crazy moisture associated with Erin just to the north of Puerto Rico. A lot of southwesterly flow pushing up into the north, into portion of the US and British Virgin Islands. Even portion of Antigua and Barbuda still getting on some rainfall as we speak. Even the Barbados radar, okay, there we go. Looks like we're starting to get in back on the easterly kind of flow. But we do see some isolated hit or shores pushing into sections of southeastern St. Lucia, St. Vincent. Some rainfall right here to the east of Grenada and the Grenadines, Tobago getting in some rainfall as we speak. But regarding the weather view of Doppler radar images, we can make weather rainfall associated with the outer bands of Erin across sections of the northern Dominican Republic, section of the Yucatan getting in some rainfall, so too Colombia, northwestern Venezuela. And regarding where the rainfall is expected within the next 24 hours, Both maps right here from the Euro and the GFS are adamant that the most rainfall should be wherever we have the yellows into the red. So we're talking about anywhere from 0.5 an inch of rainfall up to an inch of rainfall for portions of the Bahamas, the Turks and Caicos, Haiti, the Dominican Republic, southern Puerto Rico. We're talking about Venezuela, Colombia, Panama, Costa Rica, Nicaragua, El Salvador, southern Honduras, Guatemala, Belize, the Yucatan getting some rainfall. And we see some rainfall in the greens and the yellows to some isolated shores, definitely in store for a portion of the US and British Virgin Islands, St. Martin, St. Kitts and Nevis, Anguilla, Antigua and Barbuda, Guadeloupe, Dominica, Martinique, Barbados, getting some of that rainfall as well. And we can clearly see that both the Euro and the GFS modes are in agreement with that forecast. Regarding what's happening on the Eastern Pacific, tropical cyclone activity is not expected during the next 7 days. And that's because the Eastern Pacific infrared looks like this. Not really anything organized over there as we speak. The Joint Typhoon Warning Center, on the other hand, shows 2 code res, 2 areas that could develop within the next 7 days. They have high chances of developing. This is the first one right here to the southeast of Taiwan, and another one right here just to the southwest of China. Very interesting, to the east of Vietnam as well. Trying to get their act together as we speak. We'll see if they can become the next name systems for sure. But we'll definitely keep watch and keep you updated. Alright, so that's it for today. Thanks for watching.